up, everybody? Welcome to The Revival. My name is JJ. It's time to get back to my top 100 games of all time. This week, we're talking 35 through 31. Coming in at number 35 is a game that's been released multiple times to eye rolls from a lot of people, but to me, I think it's great because I think more people need to play it, and that is Tales of Symphonia, originally released on the GameCube. When Tales of Symphonia first released, the GameCube had already been out for a couple of years and sat in my closet collecting dust. Don't get me wrong, I love the console to this day, but back then I was still mainly playing JRPGs and the GameCube just didn't have a whole lot of them that I was even aware of at the time. Then I read an article in Nintendo Power about this new game coming out, with screenshots showing some of the most vibrant colors and fun anime character designs I had seen at the time. I was foaming at the mouth for Tales of Symphonia before it had even released, and when it finally came out, I couldn't get enough. The characters, story, the worlds, and gameplay all had me hook, line, and sinker. If you've ever played a Tales game before, you know that it's highly character driven, and by the end, your party members will feel like family. Tales of Symphonia was the game that got me into the series, and I've been in love ever since. At number 34 is a game that most of you probably have not played or even had the opportunity to play, because I never hear it talked about whatsoever, because it's just not one of those classics that you really hear about on the old NES. That is Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. I would venture to guess that most people watching right now didn't even know this game existed, much less played it. And those that have played it are probably wondering why it's even on this list in the first place. Robin Hood on the NES was my first ever introduction to a game that had experience points and equipment management for a party. It was my first ever RPG without me even knowing what an RPG was at the time. It's a tough game, and definitely not for everybody, but I have so many memories playing through this game as a kid and trying to make my character as strong as possible in whatever way I could. Even then, I've only actually ever completed the game one time due to its difficulty. It's hard to recommend to other people because of how dated it is at this point, but if you get the chance, check it out. At number 33 is a semi-recent game that absolutely blew me away when I played it, and I cannot wait to get back in and experience some of the other storylines at some point. That is Fire Emblem Three Houses. I have no doubt that Fire Emblem fans seeing this are probably raising an eyebrow. I think objectively, there are indeed better games in the series. However, this game stuck with me for a good long while after finishing my playthrough of just one of the 4 story paths that you can choose to take. I still want to go back at some point and play through the others, just to get another side of the story and see what happens. The gameplay is solid, the characters are fun, and even though I know among fans the school system was questionable, I personally enjoyed it. I think if you're not a Fire Emblem fan already, this entry is a really solid one to jump in on. At number 32 is another game that is completely obscure, and I'm sure none of you have played this, much less heard of it. I don't even know if it's worth mentioning, just because it's Skyrim. It's freaking Skyrim. A game that clearly needs zero introduction, Skyrim is one of those rare experiences that comes along and shakes up the entire video game community as a whole. I'd put it up there with having as big of an impact as the likes of Mario, Final Fantasy VII, and World of Warcraft. For me, it was no different. It's one thing for a game to advertise the fact that you can go anywhere and do anything, but unlike games like, well, Fable, this one actually got as close as you could to fulfilling that promise. It was mind-blowing, and even over a decade after its initial release, people are still modding and playing it like crazy. Funny enough, I never actually was able to complete the main storyline due to a bug, and I just haven't gone back to play it again. Even with that though, I still put in over 100 hours on several different platforms just doing the side content and exploring. There's so much to this game that if you haven't played Skyrim yet, what the heck are you waiting for? And finally, at 31 is the only MMORPG that I semi-regularly still devote time to. That is Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn. It's no secret to anyone who tried it out that the original Final Fantasy XIV upon launch was an absolute dumpster fire of a game. It was slow, boring, and lacked any kind of personality that would make someone like me want to stick around long term. So, when they took the whole thing down and promised to rebuild it from the ground up, it was hard not to be skeptical. Then came A Realm Reborn. It took so many of the great ideas that make World of Warcraft incredible, gave it a Square Enix twist, and slapped a Final Fantasy skin on it. And it worked. I still play casually to this day, and try to keep up with the main storyline as well as some of the side content when I can. Whether you're a die-hard Final Fantasy fan like myself, or just someone who likes playing a solid MMO with other people, Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn has something for everyone. There you have it, guys. There's 35 through 31. Really quick, I just want to apologize for being a little flaky as far as releasing content. I know I missed a week. I wholly planned to have a video out that week, but I had a family emergency come up. Everything's fine now, so back to doing this, but just kind of wanted to let you know why there wasn't a video last week. So, but thank you for sticking with me. We got several to go still, but we are getting there. So like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Tell me what you think about these games, and quite frankly, if you haven't played some of these on the list, go check them out if you can. Check out Robin Hood, because I really, really love that game. It's so good. Anyway, thank you for watching. And as always, keep on gaming.